Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the road to the SimRacing Expo, powered by Ace-Tech Sim Sports. My name is Luke Crane. I am the host of the Sim Expo / community manager, now commentator of some racing action, and I'm joined by the ever beautiful Danny Juicer.
Thanks, Luke. But you're becoming so beautiful over the last few months since we're working together, and now we're sharing this awesome racing series together as commentators.
Yeah, we absolutely are. So if you don't know what the road to the SimRacing Expo is, basically it is a 3-week championship where there'll be 2 races each week of 20 minutes each. And then there'll be a second race of the weekend, or the week, however you want to put it. And there will be a 20-position reverse grid for the second race. There's lots of action. We've had qualifying up to this point as well, where 50 drivers have qualified to get to this point. 25 of them will be pro, 25 of them will be AM. Danny, this is going to be outstanding, right? The first track as well, especially Navarro. It's a real sprint circuit, not very many corners, and 50 cars on track is going to be phenomenal.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we gave them a little bit of head start because it was the official track of the Time Attack, where I think 1,300 drivers took part, and the top 100 were like in 1 second or something like that. So crazy amount of competition, and I'm looking forward for this one now.
So just to do a little bit of housekeeping, so there will be 6 races in total, 2 taking part on each race week. Each driver will be able to drop 2 races from their score, and the top 3 from the pros and the top 3 from the AMs will make it to the Sim Expo in Dortmund later this year, and they get to say hello to me and you, Danny.
Exactly. So the top 3, as you said, from pro and AM, get invited to the SimRacing Expo. So they fly in on Friday, and on Saturday there is the competition. But so far, this is a little caveat because we didn't announce which sim they will drive on the SimRacing Expo. Live on stage also, please. Yeah. So on the Saturday, live on stage.
Exactly. So there's still lots of secrets. Of course, the track each week is going to be a secret for the drivers until right before the event starts. So it should produce some amazing racing action. But without further ado, let's go and have a look at our race circuit. There we go. So we're on the sprint layout of this circuit. It's so short. It's only, we've worked it out that there's, in terms of real estate, 50 meters per car on average. But here are some of that information. Do you know what? I'll let Danny take you on the circuit of Navarro.
Exactly. So the circuit looks like a guitar and is only 2.6 kilometers long. The average lap time is here around 1 minute and 4 seconds. In the medium to higher, 4.14. The drivers will drive for each race probably 21 laps. We have not a short parrot lap. We take the whole parrot lap for the short track. And we will start soon, I think in 2 minutes, with the qualifying. The qualifying is only 3 laps. Solo, so we will see just what the pure paces of the drivers. And Luke, do you have any predictions for the qualifying?
Not really, to be honest. Everyone's really quick and everyone's within sort of half a second of each other. They've been doing so many laps. Some drivers have put 600 laps. Some people have put 6 laps in to qualify for this stage. So I think, we can look at the timings and figure out who the fastest is. And for you people watching at home, each driver will have a number. So if they are AM, their number will start with 2. And 201 is the top seed. So they were the fastest going into today. And then in the pros, it's a 1 ahead of their name. So 101 will be the fastest. 125 will be, let's say, the slowest, if you can use that oxymoron term. But yeah, I can see a few people already in the chat. Absolute Racing, Motorsport by Asalith, they're obviously in the chat. They love supporting their drivers. Ollie Bailey, who's a very much a low power, no downforce specialist with the Mazda MX-5, so this car's quite up his alley. I'm surprised that Ollie's not even racing in this one. And everyone watching on my channel as well, hope you're all well. Hopefully, if you've got any questions, you can ask us in the chat. But we are about to go to qualifying. Danny, I'll ask you, because you've obviously been keeping a real close eye on these qualifying times and how many drivers have actually taken part into this. I'll get you to give your predictions before we go into qualifying.
So the predictions, I would say, some of the drivers already were in the Discord that the AM drivers have some disadvantage, but we already saw in the practice that some of the AM drivers are really serious fast. So I guess we will have a good mixture between pro and AM drivers. In the top 20 will probably within 2 tenths. Who is going to qualify on pole? I can't guess that. I would put my money on Mr. 13K Aaron Vasquez, but we will see. So we heading to Ryan Micklef and take a lap with him, right?
Yeah, this is Ryan Micallef. Then he's coming through the first couple of corners. Yes, we are coming through the first couple of corners into the double left-hand kink here. So it's very fast through, very easy to indeed run out wide and get yourself an off track, especially through the second part. There's also a massive bump here, you'll notice. So here we go.
Yeah.
Left-hander, and then you just sort of jump down. You've got to make sure that you've got the car nice and straight before you get to this part. You can see where the two parts of the track merge, and then we hit a very harsh braking zone, probably the harshest braking zone on the track actually, apart from turn, well, I guess the turn was more of a kink, as we now head down towards the last two corners. And you might notice, if this is a quick lap here, he will take the apex perfectly. If this is not a quick lap here, he'll move over to the left and he'll try and maximize. So around the circuit, you can utilize this part of the circuit, which means you get a better run up and towards the start-finish line. You may think it looks a little bit odd, but absolutely every driver has the same stipulations. They can use that if they would like to. As actually Khan in the 105, the 5th seeded pro driver, is currently fasted with a 104.3, and as you just pointed out, Danny, a very good lap time indeed.
Yeah, and we need to say that Ryan already burned one of his 3 laps, right? So if they go wide on the first lap, it's okay, but on the second lap, they already burned one of their attempts. So there's like a little caveat and more pressure on the drivers when they go wide in the last turn. So some drivers, I think, will not choose to do that, actually.
No, exactly that. So, of course, if you run wide at the final corner, it's very slow, plus the 1x as well. But then, obviously, at the start of the next lap, it doesn't count, so you're good to go. So, yeah, you're right. If you get 3 attempts, if you want to utilize that, you're basically burning a lap away. As we see here, Khan trying to get the tyres into the best nick that he possibly can for a flying attempt then. And here we go. So this is going to be a flyer. It might be good to go on board then with Khan, who's now just been displaced there. So just shy of a 1/10 of a second, the difference between Vasquez and now Khan. And now Grozdanic, Adnan Grozdanic, who's a bit of an MX-5 specialist as well. We're just speaking about Ollie Bailey. He puts himself into 3rd position. Then we've got Matt Caruana in 4th spot. Here we go then, down towards turn number 1. Final opportunity for Khan to indeed overturn that deficit. Again, just about a 1/10 of a second between the front two as we run through the kink of turn number 1. Now into turn number 2. So easy to run all 4 wheels off there and invalidate your lap time. Again, such a tough car to get turned in. You just slide the car so often. You've got to try and keep the car moving in a forward motion. And I know that sounds stupid, but as soon as you slide, you are in serious trouble. First of all, you lose time. It may look good, but it's not very fast. And the second thing is your tyres are then overheated for the rest of the lap. Over the jump we go, now running into the last 3 corners. So we're sweeping the car right hand here. Grab as much curb as you dare without hitting the sausage. There's the slide there. That's going to hurt big time.
Yeah, that's good loss.
Yeah. A huge amount of time lost there by Khan. Will he commit to this lap, though? This is his 2nd attempt, I would imagine. And he is going to commit to it. So I think this is it. Final attempt then for Khan, and that is why he's committing to it. I'm not sure this is going to be any quicker. If it is, that means the first sector was absolutely huge. As we come across the line then, Khan across. What sort of time are we looking at? Is he going to get any closer? Well, actually, it looked like he just about gained a 1,000th of a second, but then it's figured itself out, and actually it's still the same time there. So it's about a 1/10 of a second between the front two. Grozdanic is still out on circuit. On board now with Alexei Cavero, who is in the number 220. So he was 20th seed in the AM class, and we're now on board with Sven Hasser, who you might recognize from a lot of top split races and tends to be near the front end of the grid and hasn't put really a representative time in as of yet. So Danny, this is a big lap.
Yeah, exactly. I think a lot of pressure for him, but I think he just started his run. Maybe he's waiting for the temperatures coming down, or generally talk to Aaron Vasquez since they're teammates, and he invalidated his first lap. And actually, that is already also very long slowdown. I tested it. It's like 25 seconds to get rid of that. So maybe that puts him out of the rhythm. I feel like rhythm is always very, very important on these short qualifyings. For the team of Absolute Motorsports, Andrea Dale Valle is qualified in 9th position. And when I'm counting that right, we have close to the same split of pro and AM drivers in the top 20.
I feel like Dalla Valle has been in every year I've commentated, and I've been commentating for a long time. Dalla Valle has been in one championship or another. So this is the first one this year for him, but he's just been around for so long. I think he's quite young, to be fair, as well. So, yeah, he's been doing this for a very long time, but still a very young man. Vasquez is the fastest. Porter moves up then into 3rd position. So if you're looking in terms of the seeds coming into this, Vasquez was 7th seed. Khan was the 5th seed. 4th seed then was Porter. Bielicki is the 2nd seed. We go down to P7, and that is where the 4th seed of the AM classes, but the quickest of the AMs is 7th position. So Svoboda with a very good lap time. Then you've got Bielicki, who's currently down in 8th position as well. So those two doing very, very well. Remember, the AMs have a 2 in front of their number, and the pros have a 1 to make it easy for you to watch at home and figure out what's going on. And there are 2 separate races happening within the same race. So there are 50 points in offering as Jombi goes up onto pole position. There's always a Hungarian, and it is a huge lap time there. 104.187. The number 1 seed coming into today as well. Actually, in terms of the time trial, produced a 104.308. So faster than the time trial time. Slightly different conditions, of course, as well. But yeah, that is a fantastic lap time there. Expected, of course, from the number 1 seed. But, you know, when you could put in 600 laps, as some drivers have done, the seeding could be a little bit skewed. But it goes to show that this is not the case for Zombie, who has moved into P1. And Sven Hasse will not be happy with that. P8,
I don't think so, yeah.
Definitely not a time, not a position I would have expected Hasse to be in. In terms of the points in this race, ladies and gentlemen, there are 50 points on offer for P1, 43 points for P2, all the way down to a 20th position finish with 1 point. Only the top 3 in each class, in the pros and the AMs, will make it through to the on-site final later this year. So, yeah, there's a lot to play for, and someone like Hasse is definitely massively out of position.
Yeah, I see currently on the lifetime we just only have 4 drivers left. So Miroslav Svoboda, Kenzie van der Werk, and Kenzie is actually the driver who put 600 laps in for the qualifying and got in with a slightly margin, but let's see what he can do in the race. He's still very young and has 2.5 KI rating. Maybe we see like a big improvement over the course of the series. I'm looking forward to see that young talent.
Yeah, first time competing in a series, you know, broadcasted like this, I would imagine as well. And, you know, to get better, you need to race against faster people. You know, time trial is one thing, but racing against people is just, you know, completely different. And this driver, as you said, has done 600 odd laps, currently finds himself in P37. But if you find yourself a 1/10 of a second, maybe a couple of 1/10 of a second, you see the car snaking under braking there, there's every reason to put yourself in that top 20. You know, it is that close. In terms of the whole grid, well, the top 39 is separated by 6/10 of a second. Van Werken is not going to improve. We're on board, though, with Svoboda. I'm not sure if... we're actually on board with Hofstadter. Hofstadter currently resides... Well, has Hofstadter even put a lap time in?
No, not so far.
Yeah, not seeing them on the list, unfortunately, for them. Qualifying has still got, 5 more minutes to elapse. The drivers who have waited a little bit longer, trying to wait for a change in conditions, as you rightly pointed out there. Track temperature can be a massive factor in these sessions, but right now I find it very difficult to believe that anyone's going to beat Jombi. That is an incredible lap time, 104.187, which is, yeah, around about a 1/10 and a half quicker than what he produced in the time trial.
Exactly, and what it shows actually, that these kind of 3 laps solo qualifying put way more pressure on the drivers, because the lap times are now a bit, further away from each other compared to the practice. I think in the practice we had the top 10 in 1.5 tenths, and now we have 1 to 3 actually in 1.4 tenths. So maybe some people gambled a bit too much with the white lines, or with how far they can go. So let's see what Jonas actually can achieve. I take a look where he qualified actually. 19th of the AM class. Yes,
he did. I know that's why he's appropriately got the 19 in his number. You know, some people have crazy good ideas, right?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't name the guy who had this idea, but I think he's a genius.
Chat, let me know who you think is going to win today. I've got a funny suspicion who Tide Panda's going to go for. But anyone else out there who has got any favourite drivers they're supporting in this series? Lots of new names. This is my favourite big thing about the SimExpo races we've ever had, the GT500s of the past. You know, we've had some amazing competitive races, but we've always brought new talent to the table. If you go to, you know, some of the special events on iRacing, you'll see, for the most part, the same names over and over again. You know, the depth of talent on iRacing is huge, to be honest. The amount of drivers now at 10K rating is massive. But, you know, these community events where you get the pros and you get some AMs, it just brings new names out there. And again, like you've just mentioned, Kenzie van der Werken, a very, very young driver in his first ever competitive scene, you know, within sort of half a second, 0.6 of a second of some of the very best sim racers in the world. You know, this is a very good opportunity for them to announce themselves.
Yeah, you're totally right. And I think that's also like the way we wanted to go with the SimRacing Expo competition. That's not only for just the pros, but also for the very, very ambitious young drivers who can make a name for themselves in this series. And so far, I would say Jonas also aborted his lap from the splits I see. So we can say that the lap times are more or less final right now. So Pinter Zombie took pole in front of Aaron Vasquez, and I would
Yep. Jonas has
it
got one
would
more lap,
call to me
apparently.
here's one more lap. Okay, let's see how that pans out.
Yeah, one more lap then for Hofstadter across the line. P41 then. So one more attempt here. One of the last drivers out there. 2 minutes left on the clock. A lot of Adnan Grozdanic supporters in the chat. He's obviously a streamer as well. Again, more known for his MX5 exploits, but right now, again, mixing it with the very, very top drivers. 52 cars around this track is a big factor we need to bring or get involved in this conversation, Danny, because it doesn't matter how fast you are, your race can be over in a blink of an eye if you make a mistake, or you get involved in someone else's mistake.
Yeah, totally. And especially this car is very, very hard to break on cold tires, since the ABS is not like a full racing ABS like you get in the GT4 or GT3 car. It's more or less the ABS you get from the regular M2. And I can tell you, when I try to set up on cold tires, it's 50-50 whether you get first corner or not. And missing the first corner on the first lap is the harshest thing to do, because the iRacing slowdown will hit harder than Thor in Marvel movies.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. We also had a 10 incident limit going into today, but the community had spoken and they asked for it to be a little bit more, which is fair enough. So now it's the same as what you'd have in an official session. 17 incident points will be what the drivers have to work with. And around a circuit like this with 50 cars, that's not a lot. 20-minute race, it could be pretty crazy out there. But that is qualifying done and dusted. Let's have a look then at the official results then for qualifying. And then we'll have a look at our grid and get ourselves involved in some racing action here at the sprint variant of Navarra. Beautiful circuit. Not been in the sim for too long. One of the free options out there as well. So you can indeed go to iRacing and get yourself involved. It's a free car and a free track as well.
Exactly. And that's the matter of the series. We always run free tracks and free cars.
Absolutely. Again, you're getting a lovely pan shot here of this circuit. Again, on the face of it, a very simple looking layout, which is fine, but when you factor in you've got, you know, 49 cars around you, you're in a little bit of trouble. It's going to be like a swarm of bees trying to get around this race circuit. Let's have a little look at the chat as well. We've got Jetta Conversations, Conversions, surely do Conversations as well, supporting Aaron Cook as well. Who else have we got here? Milosevic has gone for the Morongo. We've got Ryan who's gone for Adnan. Oh no, don't flip it over a wall again.
The good predictions from the chat already.
Yes, yeah, don't put it over the wall. That's a very good prediction. It's something you definitely don't want to be doing. That is for certain. So we're just waiting for those official results to pop up, guys, and then we are good to indeed go. Oh, this should be a good one. Here we go then. So on pole position, it will be a Hungarian. It's always a Hungarian. It'll be Pinter Zombi. Then we've got Aaron Vasquez for grid and go. Zain Khan will be racing in third position. Then we've got Alessandro Porta in fourth spot. Luis Blique in fifth position. Adnan Grozdanic is in sixth. Then got David Toth in seventh. Sven Hasser in eighth spot. Miroslav Svoboda in 9th. We've then got Tim Bilica in 10th position as well. I just realised there's 2 of them on the grid. Jano Koch and Andrea Dalla Valle is your 6th row on the grid. We've got Matt Caruana and Gogo Gaja as your 13th and 14th driver. Gaspar Marak and Leon Manin, 15th and 16th. We've then got John Ellen and Connor Franson as your top 18 drivers. Tobias Kruken and Alexi Cavero as your 10th row. Marcel Marox. We've then got Giacchino Capilio in 22nd position. Diego Faria and Victor Eileman in 23rd and 24th. We've then got Wojciech Dvorak and Amar Derevich. God, I'm terrible with names. Daniel Sivishabo and Stein Handegraaff as your 27th and 28th drivers. Matthew Collin and Karolis Metskelis, the sole Lithuanian on the grid, I believe. We then got Rafael Durica and Ryan Mikulev as your 31st and 32nd drivers. Mikulev, who was the first seed in the AMS, down in 32nd position, will not be happy with that, I'm sure of that. Cody Cosford in 33rd. Then we've got Adam Mejaros, another Hungarian there, in 34th position. In 35th, then we've got Samuel Kremers and Aaron Cook. Jonas Hostatter, and then we've got Kenzie Verken as your 38th driver. Leon Hartov-Hart. We've then got Mate Lampert, another Hungarian, of course. We've then got Tauno Oromets. We've got Harun Zeljubak, Bosnia-Herzegovinian driver in 42nd spot. Florian Horvath. And then we've got Hamza Parla as your 43rd and 44th drivers. The final driver then is Giuseppe Cataldo in 45th position. Sorry about the names there, chat. I'm sure there'll be a few of you out there watching this back later going, God, he completely butchered my name. Well, maybe you should send an email to your parents and tell them how it should be pronounced, because I'm correct. Danny, any predictions? We're about to go into our first race of the season.
I will tell in the first 3 corners we lose 5 cars. That's the call I can make.
More than that. I can guarantee it'll be more than that.
So, yeah. Kenzie told us in the chat he's actually racing with a Logitech G29. And since he's like 15 years old, the wheel is older than him. So, Kenzie, heads up for your performance with that wheel, to be honest.
When the world explodes, when the world explodes, there'll be 2 things left. There'll be cockroaches and Logitech wheels, because they are built to last. I can tell you that right now. All right, here we go then. Closing up towards the grid of this first race, just to get some housekeeping out there for people who've just tuned in. The numbers on the cars, if they have a 2 at the front of their number, they are an AM driver. That means they are 5,000 iRating or lower. And if they are a pro driver, it'll be a 1 in front of their name. They have 5,000 iRating or higher. I guess 4,999 or lower for the AMs. There are points on offer for the top 20 drivers in each class. So if you to finish P4 and you have a 2 in front of your name, but you're the lead car in the AM class, you will get 50 points, just as well as the lead driver for the 1s or the pros. There will be 6 drivers that make it to Dortmund later this year to battle it out in a live final, 3 from each class. So there'll be 3 pros and 3 AMs. We will also have 2 drop races out of the 6. So each driver has 6 races to take part in, and they will have 2 drop races. So if someone didn't make it today because they're not very well, that means that their drop races have already taken into effect. In race number 2 today, which was going to be the most interesting thing about today's racing, the top 20 drivers will be reversed. So the top 20 in the finishing order for race number 1 will be reversed. Danny, that will be fantastic.
I mean, to give the viewers some hindsight, I wanted to do a full reverse grid, but the drivers considered that it would be too crazy. So we listened to the drivers, actually. Yes, that's also happening. And we changed it to top 20, actually. I would like to add something to the series, actually. So the racing numbers will stay with the championship position over the season. So for the viewers, it's very easy then to follow the championship fight. And also for both categories, we will add 2,500 euros as prize money for both categories. So 5,000 euros in total in prize money for the series. So actually, it pays off to compete all the races, because I think we pay out the money for the top 10 drivers. So never give up, I think.
Well, I've just found out I've got an extra job to do between each round then, guys, because I'm the one that does the numbers. So fantastic to find that out right now. So yeah, we're having a great time, aren't we?
I mean, you took like 10 minutes for that, setting it up.
Okay. Right, here we go. We are off and we're running for the formation lap. So the pace car will take us around. It's going to be a very short one, of course, only last a minute and a half or so. And then we will be off for our 20-minute timed race. So by, yeah, well, I guess this is the first lap, so the second lap can be a 20-lap race here at Navarra.
It's a 20 minutes lap race. 20 minutes race, sorry. So we can stick to the streaming schedule.
Yeah, exactly. God.
Because you never know what's happening on lap races, right?
Hey, we're only being paid for so much, Danny. You know, can't go overtime here.
Exactly.
Also, I just realised that the pace car is actually the same car as the group of cars. You very rarely see that. The pace car is the same car.
Yeah, we had to save some budget, so we took the BMW instead of the Porsche GT3.
It's Misha driving it.
Yeah, from home actually.
On his new sim rig.
Yeah. For the general starting purpose, so we will go with the iRacing starting system, and the driver in front, which is actually Pinter, who's now the one again, needs to take the speed around 80 kph plus minus 3 kph. So that's his response to get the field actually good started.
Here we go then. We've got ourselves just a couple of corners to go before our first race of the road to the SimExpo 2025 will indeed take place. Who's the guy with the German accent? Well, it's not me. That is Danny the Juicer Gooser. Right, here we go. Round the final call we go. We're waiting for those lights to indeed disappear once they've gone red. And we're going to have a great time. 45 cars around the sprint variant of Navarra. It is now all up to our leader. It is Zombie who will take us away. The red lights have appeared. Oh God, it's 87 wide. This is the quickest car park you'll ever likely to see as we run down towards Tunnelborn. We've got cars on the grass. Oh, there's smoke already. There's car facing the wrong way. Oh, crikey, Moses.
In the midfield.
That is not a good start for a couple of our cars. We'll figure out exactly what's happening there. Davidov, Dalavala was dropping down the orders. Boda is dropping down, and there's a big shunt in the background as well. That's a top 6 car for certain. It looks like Zombie's got through nicely. Vasquez, Khan, Porter, Hassa, Bilicki, Toth, and then the second Bilicki. They've all got through relatively nicely. So easy there to get a 1x. But the front 4 have kind of just disappeared into the distance there. So it looks like a car who's in 5th spot is the one who's dropped down. But yeah, the thinning of the herd has happened here, Danny, and there are a few cars facing in the wrong direction.
Commentator curse?
Well, it's just a prediction.
Did they curse it?
No, so a curse would be where you say something isn't going to happen and it does happen. You said it was going to happen and it did happen.
But on the bright side, there are a lot of AM drivers already in the top 20. So I appreciate that.
Absolutely. It's a very good start there from the number 7 seed there, Tim Belika, who's currently in 7th place. He's German, so you might be able to repronounce that name if I've got it wrong, Danny. But he's actually moved up into 6th position now. He is the lead AM driver. But in terms of the leader of this race, it is Zombie then, the Hungarian, who makes a mistake, runs wide there, leaves the door open. Aaron Vasquez will send it up the inside. And now he's going to force Zombie to be very, very clever on the 3rd corner through the left-hander. And he'll have to just be very clever with the throttle and just, you know, not slide the car too much, and ultimately does hold on to that position. But Vasquez is here to fight.
Yeah, exactly. And the good thing is we changed actually the setup from the qualifying to the race. So the race setup has more wing to actually promote overtaking with more downforce and more drag. So that's actually what we see right here. And I would like to highlight Mr. Colin and Mr. Cosgrove, who actually gained 14 and 17 places in the first 2 laps, which is actually amazing, to be honest.
Oh, big deep run there from Vasquez, trying to keep that overlap around the final corner. It's not going to work out there. Jean-B's going to squeeze him out. Doors now opened up for Khan as well. Khan's going to make the move up to 2nd spot. So Vasquez, again, just trying to keep his nose around the outside of the race leader. Has ultimately now lost a position, but now it's 2 teammates battling with our lead car. I say 2 teammates, it's not 2 teammates. They've got similar looking liveries.
Similar colours.
They're very, very similar colours. And again, you can see that Aaron Vasquez sends one up the inside, retakes 2nd spot here. Khan's going to drop down. All of a sudden now you've got Sven Hassa back involved here. You've got Porter involved, and that's going to bring David Toff in as well. It is side by side. Zombie just about hanging on. We'll have the inside line for the 2nd kink. A little bit of a touch to the brakes there from Aaron Vasquez, and he will keep it all nice and neat and tidy. Is he going to send one up the inside here? Zombie's not going to defend into the 3rd from last corner, and actually Vasquez has decided, you know what, I'm going to be neat and tidy here. I know where I can make my moves. It's not that corner as we have a look back then towards the front of Vasquez car. Khan, we've got some movement in the background as well. Marak Collins made a move up there. Oh, Dalavala has dropped down. So Marox has moved up here, Cosford's moved up, and Gaja is also making the move up to come through the final corner there. Vasquez is trying to set up, basically getting on the power a little bit earlier and getting the momentum down in towards turn number 1. It's not worked out there. Jombi didn't defend it, took the the optimum line through there and holds on to the lead of this race. This is really nice stuff.
Yeah, and since they're fighting so heavily, all the other drivers, which had a bit of tough luck in the first lap, can catch up. Which is really, really good for racing. And I thought for a second that Vasquez is actually opening the door for Hase to get some places, but I think he has everybody on his own and racing for their own positions, to be honest.
Yeah, we've got the real interesting factor now of the pro cars battling with the AM cars when they don't really need to. So you can see that Tim has just dropped down the order a little bit. He is now down into 9th position. He was 7th, and actually looks like Jarno Koch has moved up into 9th position as well, made a move there. But Bilica still leads that class. As we see there, Aaron Vasquez trying to open up the final corner here. Jean-B taking that inside line. Doors then left open behind for Khan. Got to be careful there as Aaron Vasquez has already been burnt once there by Khan. Manages to get himself back up to 2nd spot. But I tell you what, by the time we get into the braking zone here of turn number 1, although it's not much of a braking zone, it looks like Vasquez might be able to find the inside line. He doesn't. Jombi goes really ultra defensive there, moves across. And I tell you what, it's brilliant bit of defensive work there. Some would say it was a little bit late, but actually because it's not really a braking zone there, it's kind of legal. Oh, as we see a car going around the wrong way, that's going to cause collateral damage. 5th position goes into 3rd. The rejoins are not great. Vasquez and Zombie, they're the winners in that situation, although Vasquez did get tagged ever so slightly on the rear. Porter was the one who went round, and actually, in all fairness, has actually gone up to 3rd position. So he gets tagged, he moves up to 3rd spot, and it's actually worked out pretty well there. Who's this? Oh, that's Khan. Khan's got damage, I think. I think Khan might have
I think the suspension is broken.
Yeah, we'd have to look at that again.
Has some slight aerodynamic changes to his front of the car. So
yeah, that's not going to be too much of an issue, to be fair, Danny.
I don't think so, yeah.
But it's if you get hit on the wheel. If you get hit on any of the wheels, which I think Khan did. I think Khan got hit on the right rear. That's when you're in trouble. So again, we'd have to see that again. But it came from P5. P5 makes a mistake, turns Dalavala. Oh, sorry, turns Porter. Porter then gets into the back of Vasquez and Khan. But ultimately, Porter, because of all that, does gain 2 spots. It wasn't his fault.
Yeah, so I guess that will be a lot of work for our friends from AK Esports UK, and I don't want to put my thumb on that, but that looked like a punt to pass, to be honest.
Yeah. That was a very hasty move there from Sven Hasse, and ultimately that is going to cost Porter. Cost him a huge race here, unfortunately for him, and I think that was very, very avoidable. To get a little look down the inside, a bit further down our order on board here then with the lead Bilica, the 102, 2nd seat coming into this. Lewis having a very good qualifying period to get into this race, and by the sheer driving standards at the front, the driving styles at the front, has gained a lot of positions here, but ultimately it's still P5 out of the pro class. One of gain a couple of positions. A podium in your first race is really what you're looking for, because only the top 3 from each class will make it through. Just a little bit further back though, Colin is 7th. He's the leader of the AMs. Again, if you just joined us, the 2 in front of their name means they're the AM class. The 1 means that they are a part of the pro class. But right now we've got Bilica, Tim in 8th position. Who is 2nd position behind Colin in the AMs, and you've got Marak, you've got them Manning, so 4 drivers all together there. Cosford has got Gazza in between him and indeed getting involved with that battle for a podium.
Yeah, I'm currently thinking how I would tackle actually that in the place of Colin, Bilica and McCracken Manning, since they are more or less bunched together and top 4 of AM. They shouldn't have any need to fight, to be honest, right? So now we're heading back to one of the best liveries on the grid, which probably would make you a bit motion sick if everything would turn on the car. I never seen such kind of livery, but I think it works to,
It's like a lollipop from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, isn't it? It's just that you can lick it. Okay, I'm just thinking about food, because I don't eat much food.
How does an M2 CSR taste?
We ask
That's
Porter.
questions for after the stream.
You could ask Porter. He's had one touch him very closely into turn number 1 to see a potential look behind there. Looks like Verken's trying to make a move on David Toth. I will say one thing. You were talking about Werken earlier, who obviously is very young, 600 laps. He is literally right behind David Toth, who is one of the veterans of iRacing. But here's a replay then of the incident at turn number 1. Oh, do you know what? I'm not sure. Again, I'd need to see that from like a chase perspective of Porter. I wonder whether he's just driven across the bonnet of the car behind. But ultimately, it's like a game of snooker. Once one car was hit, the rest of them were getting absolutely collateral. That was, yeah, very interesting indeed. See a move made up the inside there. David Toth makes a move there on Mescalis. It's a delicious little move there, veteran move from David Toth, and he moves up a position.
Yeah. So we saw a lot of crashes so far, but it actually took only 6 cars out. So 6 cars are parked in the pit lane for at least 1 minute. Some drivers already, yeah, sacrificed the chances for the top 20 in the first lap. So that's quite good, actually, that so many drivers are still competing and taking the chance to get in top 20. Because when they're in top 20, the cars are freshly mixed and they can have like a very good position for the second race, which is obviously very, very important.
Yeah, you know, it's important talking about the guys in the pits when we witness an unbelievable move like that. That was fantastic stuff. Oh, God. No, it's all been undone. Those man in runs wide. Did get ahead of Gasha very momentarily, but then it's just run very deep there. Now we're going to see some side-by-side action behind. We've got a modified M2 there with no front bumper. So that would not look good on an as the car. That's Maroc there. Every time we do indeed mention Mescali, or Mescalis, all the Lithuanian flags. I'm pretty sure it's Lithuania. Again, my geography isn't amazing, but I'm pretty sure it is Lithuania. But yeah, good to see you all supporting your favourite driver in the chat. Ladies and gentlemen, you beautiful people. Let us know who you're supporting if you haven't already as well. Anyway, running down towards turn number 1, we're seeing even more action as we look a bit further down. Hangraf making a move there on Svoboda. Brilliantly done there. Gets across the bonnet of that purple car as well. There's Marox a little bit further up the road. And we've got Jarno Koch then, who's in behind Sven Hasse. So the front two have got away now. And if you're Vasquez, you just push Zombie. Push Zombie as far as you can away from this pack and make it a 1v1 on the last couple of laps.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what they actually try to achieve. In the end of the race, I think also the tires of the car will have a factor. So let's see how it pans out. For the general race currently, I think the chat told us Aaron Cook is actually a real-life Toyota MR2 champion. So the driver in place 20 with number 205 is actually a real-life champion. And I think the Toyota MR2 is also like a very low horsepower racing car. Not saying like that 300 or 200 horsepower a lot are not much, but that shows that his real skills transfer over into sim racing. This is really cool.
I guess they let him cook.
That was a cheap one.
It was a cheap one, but you know, I'm not just a commentator, guys. I'm a comedian as well. You're getting 2 for the price of 1, and well, none of you have paid for a ticket, so it's a free show. Beautiful stuff. Anyway, on board with Cook, who's right in behind Porter, and now Hangraf, who's P14.
There's a big dive.
3 wide. Oh, that's a big send. That is a huge
send. Oh no,
send
that's
there.
not going to end well.
Oh, Lord, Svoboda has made a move from in NFL. Do you know what? I am a huge fan of that, by the way. So he's just done what they call in NFL an absolute Hail Mary, where your team's down, you need a touchdown, you throw the ball from miles away and just hope it sticks. He's just sent it, caused a bit of an accident, and he gave the positions back on track that wasn't a slowdown, didn't go off the circuit. I like a bit of sportsmanship there, fair play. Although, you know, the original move was awful, but that bit was lovely.
Yeah, I think it was not very calculated. The issue is with the car already, if you're going to send it and you have this kind of oh shit feeling, the ABS is not helping you anyway. So you probably end up killing someone, even if it's not intentional. But that's how it goes with these kind of cars. And Andrea Dallevale actually has a technical flag. Is it? Oh, now it's gone.
Okay. Well, no.
Oh, he's actually leaving all the cars past. So probably the car's really damaged. which is like really unfortunate with
No,
his good starting
he's
position.
got a drive-through. I think he's hit the limit.
That's
Yeah, on the incident. Oh, he's meatballed. Okay, just to confirm, he's been meatballed here. So that's why he's coming in. And fair play again, he didn't want to get in the way of anyone else. He's let a whole pack of cars go when, you know, you see quite often people are quite selfish in that regard. And they're like, well, if my race is ruined, I don't need to be worried about anyone else's. But yeah, he gets out of the way, puts himself into the pits. And I think this will be a dropped race for Dalla Valle, unfortunately, at the first time of asking. We're on board with Franson in this massive, huge pack of cars. A little bit further up the order, we've got ourselves Marox as well. So Marox is the lead car of this train, 1.8 seconds behind the next group of cars, and again, minus a front bumper. As you see, a big send there from his teammate, and it's not quite going to work out, I'm pretty sure. Is David Toth going to be able to make that move? No, he isn't. So brilliant stuff, brilliant action from all of our drivers here. Again, we've seen the good, we've seen the bad, and we've seen the ugly, but for the most part, it's been really, really good fun racing.
So you already forgot to start, right?
Yeah.
In terms of incident limit, which is actually on 17 incidents, we have just one driver already past 10 incidents. It's Leon Harhoff, who's actually, I raced him in the past, and he's actually a very clean driver, so probably a lot of doors banging, which gave him some incidents. And Vasquez is going for the lead.
Oh, he absolutely has. Oh, there's contact between the two of them there. And do you know what? We'll see that again, and we'll have a look. Of course, we'll have a look. But for me, I think Jean-B's tried to just get the power down a little bit too early there, and it's just kicked his rear out. And I think he's hit Vasquez more than Vasquez has hit him. And again, I could be wrong, but for me, I think Vasquez has set that up beautifully well, forced Jean-B into a false sense of security where he pinched Vasquez out wide left going into the first corner, and then just went really late up the inside and negotiated that move perfectly well. So that was nicely done. He's been very patient. They've been on their own for about 7 minutes now since there was a big melee behind them, and realistically just managing this race. And you mentioned earlier about the tyre wear. Tyre wear is going to be a huge factor at this stage because the cars just slide around. There's no downforce on these cars. He's flashing the lights there, as we're going to have a little replay of the start here. And I tell you what, guys, we could watch this a million times. I'm not going to be able to make any sense of this whatsoever, that's for sure. Here we go then. Before the lights even went out, we had 87 wide. There we go. Look at it. It is the fastest car park in the world. It is genuinely 9 wide at some points there. And how long is it until a car's facing the wrong way? About 4 seconds. So hopefully that's the record for this championship, and we don't get to race number 2 later on, and it's quicker than that. But look into turn number 1. Oh, that's a big send here. So who was that in the background? That might be Sven Hasse. I'm just, I don't want to call anyone out.
No, I don't think that's was Sven Hasse, to be honest.
It was a black car, and there's only 2 of them on the grid that are full, or like all black cars, and it was a big old mighty send here. So we're looking a bit further back there. There we go. But there was one particular car that caused a lot of melee into turn number 1. So how did it go here? So, okay,
that was very sufficient to kill someone in turn 2. Holy.
If you're wondering how baby M2s are born, guys, that is how. Yeah, so there we go. Again, there are like 2 or 3 black M2s there. I'm not sure exactly who it was, but yeah, it was a suboptimal, I guess.
Yeah, I think we need to educate the drivers on holding the brakes, especially when they're not facing the racing surface. But we are going into the last minutes of the first race, and I think apparently the drivers behave like adults. That's awkward, to be honest.
Yeah, it's been a very good start to this championship here. Vasquez, Jean-B and Hasse will be very happy with their start to proceedings. They're all going to get, to kick things off, they're all going to be in the top 3, which is exactly where you need to be at the end of this. And then in terms of the AMs, we see some potential movement a bit further back there. We've got Shivi Shabo at the head of this group. We've then got Hangraf, and then we're on board there with Capillo, heading then down towards the 3rd from last corner. I think we're about to see a send here from Hangraf there. Shivi Shabo is not going to defend it. Oh, incident penalty then for Shivi Shabo. That will be why he is going to try and get to the pits, and he just about finds a gap there. I don't think it mattered how many cars was on his inside. He was going to try and get across regardless. And yeah, Shivi Shabo is going to have to serve a drive-through penalty. That is not good. That is not what you want, and that will be a race ruiner for 20 minutes of the race.
Indeed, and I think, yeah, after we saw the start, there was a lot of collection of 4X, which helps a lot to reach the incident limit. But I think the battle around Capillo is like really intensifying, since that was around the last places for the top 10 reverse grid, right?
Yes, of course. Yeah, there's a huge fight for that. There's 3 wide going in towards turn number 1 and 2, and now into 3. Who's going to come out on top here? Franson and Hofstadter having a big old ding-dong there. Hofstadter's going to come out on top there. Franson's now under pressure. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it is Hardhoff as well getting involved. And, oh, bit of a slide there. Some flashing of the lights. Big fan of the flashing of the lights. You've got Hardhoff and Horvath then are involved in this. Actually, there's Hofstadter's a little bit further up the road. We've got some side-by-side action by teammates as well in the foreground. But you're right, yeah, the top 20 battle, this will be pole position for the second race. So I'm wondering who is in 20th position, how close that battle is. There we go, so David Toth and Faria. Well, it's teammates battling for 1 position, is it not? Oh, sorry, it's Mazaros. So yeah, Faria and Mazaros are battling for position here as we head on to what we're going to have here. We're going to lap number 19 of 21. So 2 more laps remaining for these drivers, or 3 more laps remaining for these drivers. And David Toth currently needs to get by, or needs to go and catch up to Faria, who's a little bit further road, 2 seconds. So I think Faria is pretty comfortable here, actually.
Yeah, I guess the teammates won't cross their swords and try to exchange places in the last couple of minutes. We have still a fight around the top 3 position with the super heavily damaged Sven Ola Hase, which is actually probably the biggest bill of replacement parts for the second race. I'm very curious whether Grosdanik is having a peek at them. He has recovered very well actually from the starting position. I think he came back from top 10, outside top 10 into top 5. So that's a really, really astonishing performance for the race.
Yeah, are we going to see a potential move here to get into that podium spot from Jarno Koch? They've also got Grosnich. Grosnich is going to try and give Koch a little bit of a push there through turn number 3. There's a little gap open there. Closed up as soon as it was open. Let's have a little talk about the AM class as well. Matthew Collin, the 13th seed coming into today, is the leader of that class, and quite comfortably as well. The next guy behind him, Gaja, is not even in his race. So this is a really good start then from Matthew Collin as we head then through the final few corners. We're on board of Vasquez then, who is coming up to the final corner. Vasquez, 6/10 in the clear, is going to take victory here. Made a very nice move on Jambi to take that lead. Jambi did lead the race for about 16 minutes, but when it comes to the end of this race, it is Vasquez who manages to take the victory. Some flashing of the lights from Jambi. I'm not sure whether that's a sign of respect or whether he's a little bit annoyed about something, but it is iRacing. Everyone loves to flash their lights. It is fashionable. Top 6 drivers on the grid are all from the pro class. Then we get our first AM driver of Matthew Collin, 213. Again, if you have just joined, the pro cars are with 1 at the start of their number, and the AM classes all have a 2 at the start of their number. And in terms of their seeding coming into this, they've all been given a number. So if they're number 1, that means they were the fastest in the time trial. And as the championship goes on, their numbers will change. And that means that they will have the number that they are in the championship. So, yeah, nice little fun fact for you all there. But yeah, Sven Hazard does take P3. As we go a little bit further back, we're on board then with Kremers, who is in P38. 21st seed coming into this, and then everybody else is either in the pits or have had to pit. So yeah, a very interesting set of circumstances for some of our drivers. But in terms of Vasquez, yeah, very good start from Aaron, who you expect to be at the sharp end, and Julie is.
Yeah, this was, I think, eventful race 1, to be honest, Luke. It was after the first lap very awesome to watch, and I like how the AM stood their ground, to be honest. When I'm taking the numbers, we have 6 AMs in the top 10, and even the AM in place 23 finished in the top 15 overall. So I guess being an AM is not a disadvantage, maybe even helpful, because the people are going a bit slower into the race, taking more racecraft.
There are lots of factors to your iRating. One of them is spending more time on the sim than other people, doing more races. Some people may have only just got onto the service, and that's why they are under the 5K. So you should expect a few of the AMs to be up there, and we duly did get that with Matthew Collin. But here are your official results then. Aaron Vasquez picks up the win with a lovely move on Pinter Jombi into turn number 3. Sven Olahasa finishes in 3rd spot. Jano Koch and Adnan Grosdanic sort out the top 5. We then got Luis Belike in 6th position. Then our lead driver in the AMs in the 2:13 machine is Matthew Collin. Then we've got Gergo Gaja, Tim Belike, Gazba Marak round out your top 10. Cody Cosford is in 11th position. We then got Leon Manin, Marcel Marox, Stein Handgraf, Giacchino Capillo, Aaron Cook, Miroslav Svoboda. We've got Mate Lampert. We've got Alessandro Porter. Then we've got Diego Faria as your top 20. David Toth, Adam Mizaros, Jonas Hofstadter, Connor Franzen, Leon Harhoff. They've got Tobias Kruken, Tauno Oromets, Karolis Meskelis. That's where all the Lithuanian flags are going to pop up. Florian Horvath. They've got Kenzie Verkin, Alexei Cavero, Rafael Dorica, Harun Stejubak. We've then got John Erlen, Daniel Shivizabo, who unfortunately had a black flag during that race, had to serve a drive-through. Then we've got Amar Dizderovic. We've then got Giuseppe Cataldo, Samuel Kremers, Andrea Dalla Valle, who is 8 laps down, and everyone else who I mentioned from this point on also did not finish the race. So Hans Parler, Ryan Mikulev, Zane Khan, who was right at the front until he wasn't, Victor Elman, then we've got Matt Caruana, and Wojtek Dvorak, who indeed finishes at the back end there. Danny, a very interesting first race of our season. For me, the biggest factor is lots of tough names to figure out from different countries. But in terms of the racing action, kind of what we expected. A few incidents because it's such a small circuit with so many cars. But for the most part, the racing was very, very good.
Yeah, exactly. Apart for lap 1, it was actually quite clean. And obviously we have this kind of banging doors and so on, and maybe a spin when some people are diving. And also, I mean, it's the first race of the championship. Everybody is a bit nervous. They want to gain too many places on too short of laps. For the next race, we will select a track which has higher survivability in turn 1, and then we we are good to go. I want to thank, as first of all, the chat on YouTube, which is like really putting up a firework for their preferred driver. I think Cody has a big following here, and Gasper McRack as well. I'm sorry when I'm butchering your names, but I am German and can't even talk about Slavish names because it's very hard to pronounce that. If you want to help us, send us a message how the name is pronounced, and we will make it better into the next round.
Yeah, no, absolutely spot on. Yeah, if you've heard your name being mispronounced, absolutely get in contact, and we will try and get it right next time. Can't promise anything because, it is what it is. We move on. But yeah, a very, very good start to this season. I think Pinter Jombi, who was the #1 seed coming into today in terms of the time trial, led most of the race, lost out to Aaron Vasquez. I think Vasquez played it very, very cleverly, actually, where he made it a 1v1 because there was an incident behind them sort of halfway in the race where it gave them a 2.5 second advantage, and then they just let the pack behind them fight so significantly. Aaron did not fight Pinter, made it a 1v1, and then finally made that move towards turn number 3, and then didn't really look back.
Yeah, I think Aaron really thought that through. Really tried to be more passive, which is actually uncommon for him because he's like a very furious racer and always up for a fight. But it shows like how he's tackling the championship, and I think for Aaron, the main goal is not qualifying in top 5 or finishing in top 5. He wants to come to Expo and showing that he is the best one. For the broader audience, which is probably not so into iRacing, Aaron is actually the first driver who 13,000 iRating, which is mind-boggling because most of the drivers on iRacing spend their time before 5,000 iRating, like literally 99% of the service. And Aaron is lonely at the top, I guess, or only with just one driver catched up to him so far. So we have really one of the best, not maybe saying the best driver on iRacing here in the championship, which proved by the result, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. 13,000 rating. Just, and maybe a year ago that number wasn't even fathomable. To
No
be
one
honest.
thought of that, yeah.
Here we are in 2025, where it is absolutely possible, and there are multiple people going for that number. Right, this is a championship to basically decide 6 drivers who are going to make it to Dortmund later this year for the SimExpo 2025. But we just announced recently that we are going to be heading to the States. And well, if you want to hear a little bit more or see a little bit more about that, we've got a little ad for you. So there you go, guys. We are heading to America for Memorial Weekend next year. I cannot wait. It is on the same weekend as the NASCAR 600 as well, and you've got the Indy 500 happening over in America. You've got the, well, it was the Monaco GP. I think it's Canadian GP now. It is a massive weekend for motorsport and also a massive weekend for sim racing. Danny, obviously you've been a huge part of this. You went over there a couple of weeks ago to go and scope out the venue and what they've got to offer, and I'm sure you're more excited than anybody.
Yeah, first of all, it was said that you're not coming with me because every time we spend some time together, it's going to be very, very fun, especially at the Hotel Bar. But I didn't say that. Charlotte is an awesome city, to be honest. First of all, we have the NASCAR Hall of Fame there. And I can tell you, not even Formula One has this kind of exhibition. It's, I think, 4 stories tall, all filled with old, current, and future stuff about NASCAR. You feel like I'm emotional about that. I love that. I will come back to that because I actually did not won the simulator challenge, which is also on iRacing. So that I need to redeem that. Otherwise, they have all of the major franchises for sporting clubs in Charlotte. So NBA, NFL, NHL, MLS. I didn't know that something like MLS is that's soccer. For the people that like that one, or football, like in Europe. And also, as you said, the Coca-Cola 600 is happening on the same weekend. So yeah, I'm so pumped still from being there, despite the heaviest jet lag in my life.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. It's just, yeah, we're always waiting for the right opportunity to go to North America, and here it is. So I am absolutely buzzing for what is in store for not only, you know, in the next 6 months or the next 12 months, but the future of the SimExpo. We're just, yeah, we're going to take on new territories and smash it, which I'm super excited about. But back to the road to SimExpo 2025. We've had our first race of the season at Navarra. Now we've got a 20-position reverse grid. So a couple of drivers, I say, that will be a little bit slower than what is ahead of them. It's not really the case, Danny, because there's only about 2 tenths separating them in qualifying.
Exactly. And also, I mean, the first race showed how different the strategies are. And we saw drivers which qualified in the time attack in the latter stage of the grid and now ending up in the top 20 or top 15, top 10. So just your lap time is not going anywhere for the race result. You need to survive the race. You need to be clever about strategy. Maybe finding a draft partner you can bump on the straights to gain access to another position later in the race. It's not always the next corner to make the win. And here's actually the reverse grid for race 2, or is that the result of race 1?
No, this is the reverse grid for race number 2. So we've got Diogo Faria, Alessandro Porta on the front row. Then we've got Meta Lampert, and we've got Miroslav Svoboda as your second row. Aaron Cook and Giacchino Capillo are your 5th and 6th drivers. Stein Handgraf and Marcel Marox are your 4th row. 5th row then is Leon Manin and Cody Cosford. On your 6th row is Gazba Marak and Tim Bielka. We've then got Gergo Gasha in 13th and 14th for Matthew Collin, who again was our lead driver from the AM class. Luis Blika and Adnan Grozdanic are your 8th row. We've then got Jarno Koch and Sven Hasser as your 9th row. Then the top 2 from race number 1, Pinter Jambi, who was pole position. He finished 2nd in race number 1. He starts 19th, and Aaron Vasquez is in 20th. And now everybody else is in their finishing position from race number 1. David Toth and Adam Majaros, who's going to be the best Hungarian out of those two. They start 21st and 22nd. Then we've got Jonas Hofstadter and Connor Franzen as your 12th row. Leon Harthoff and Tobias Kruken are on your 13th row. Tauno Oromets and Karolis Meskalis, as the Lithuanian flags will fly once again. Florian Horvath and Kenzie Verken as your 15th row. Alexei Cavero and Rafael Dorica as your 16th row. Harun Seljubak, and we've got John Elnan is your 33rd and 34th driver. Daniel Sivishabo, who had a drive-through in the previous race, will be looking to try and have a cleaner one this time, and Amar Dizderovic in 36th. We've then got Giuseppe Cataldo and Samuel Kremers in 37th and 38th. Andre Dallavalle in 39th. Hamza Parla in 40th. Then got Ryan Mikalev and Zain Khan, who, you know, Ryan Mikalev was the #1 seed in the AMS, and Zain Khan was in 3rd position when he got taken out in the first race. So those two are massively out of position. Victor Eilerman and Matt Caruana are in 43rd and 44th. And then we've got Wojtek Dvorak as your 45th driver. I feel like I'm getting better with the names each and every time I read out that grid, Danny.
Yeah, I mean, you're the man, you're the lead commentator. I know that you can do that with these kind of names. I'm lost with that, to be honest. I'm happy that I can speak barely English. So I'm looking really forward for the second race, and the drivers already looking forward themselves. In the Discord, they say, don't shout out too loud about it too. So some John Eden is a bit, pessimistic about second race. Some drivers are more optimistic and saying, like, I expected more chaos. Well, that's the definition of chaos, I would say. And in the chat, we still have people like unwavering support for Aaron, not Vasquez, Aaron Kirk, the real racing driver, Meskalis, and Cody. So I hope in the future we see more people cheering for their favorite driver. And in the upcoming races, I think we will have some small content about the drivers where they tell us who they are, what they're doing, and why you need to cheer for them.
Exactly. Maybe you want to cheer for your commentators as well, guys. I don't know. Just throwing it out there. You know, nothing worse than someone asking for a bit of cheering. This is interesting, though, Danny, for this race because it is a reverse grid. It means we're not going to have the same drivers at the sharp end of the grid every single race, which means they've got to put a championship together. You know, in most championships, you have a qualifying session, and normally the faster drivers are always at the front. It's the same names over and over again. So, you know, the chances of, or the likelihood of mistakes are a little bit less, you'd say. With this, you know, if you get a race win in race number 1, you're 20 positions back. You're not going to continuously win race after race after race. So it's all about just getting your best position in the safest way possible and building a championship that way. We're on board with Diogo Faria, who is at the front, the Portuguese driver with those green rims. This should be an absolute worldie of a race. I'm super excited for it, Danny. Any predictions, mate?
I guess all the drivers that had no chance to finish the first race will take it a bit more conservative right now. The midfield will be chaotic as well. I can't expect people not going 7th, 9 wide on the starting procedure. What we see already right here is that there is a kind of mix of teammates together. I need to figure out which teams that are. But we see two cars. Oh, no, that's actually just a grid and go car and the other team again, which are looking like very, very close from the livery wise. And I expect the temperatures are now falling because the second race is later the day compared to the first race. We have 33 degrees, which is actually a mild weather for Spanish conditions. So the tires should last longer, which helps out to fight in the end of the race. And I would say after you entered the first race in such a glorious way, you take over now.
Car already facing the wrong way. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Car already round the wrong way. That is just... I'm not sure what to say about that. Here we go then. We'll go around the final corner. We're about to go green light racing here for the second race of the road to the SimExpo by Atatec Sim Sports, or powered by Atatec Sim Sports. We're about to go off, and we are off, and we are running down towards turn number 1. It is fanning out 8, 7, 10, 11 wide. as we run down towards turn number 1. And is Farrier going to be leading as we're on board with Jean-B, who's P19 to start things off. And if you have got a good result in race number 1, it's just all about keeping it clean. It's a very good start so far, but it now goes towards a very, very tough pinch point twice, actually, with the second and third corners. It was definitely 4 wide going into there at a minimum. There's Farrier there again going through turn number 4, and he's got a brilliant start. And everybody's a lot closer this time. I think people have learned, although actually there's a lot of cars missing at the back there.
Yeah,
I think most people have learned their lesson.
Actually.
They've learned their lesson a little bit, I think. Oh, there's the jump once again.
Giuseppe Cataldo and Andrea Dalle Valle, Alexi Covero are already out of the race, I think.
Oh no, that is not good there. I'm sure
not a good day for Andrea.
No, again, you get 2 drop races in this championship, so you know that will be forced upon. Ideally, you want to choose your drop races, but sometimes it's just not the case. As Farrier leads the way to Porter. Porter needs a good result here because unfortunately got taken out in race number 1 in a very good position. As we see some cars all over the track. They're getting their money's worth. Even though this is a free track, they're all getting their subscriptions worth of track out there through the final corner. But yeah, Farrier with a very, very good start there. Porter second, 2/10 further back. Cook up to 3rd position. He's actually gained 2 spots in this race so far, and I know there's a lot of Aaron Cook fans out there in the chat. So as we go again down towards that pitch point, in towards turn 2, now in towards turn number 3. And this is where things can go very wrong indeed. We've only got 17 incident points. We've seen a lot of cars already get very fruity with the track limits.
Yeah, I mean, for the last corner, they all tried to extend the racing line, as we saw right here, to get the better run for the first turn. And there's a big dive. Who is that from? Is it Gashner? Manin, Leo Manin.
Yeah, Manin.
He made it stick, actually.
Yeah, there was no cars in front of him, directly in front, so he could afford to run really deep through there. And that's what, you know, you can do that. There's corners where you can't do that. We see a bit of a send a bit further back. Oh, okay. Yeah, managed just back going to hold on there. I think that was David Toff a little bit further back there. As Mikulev who's making inroads here. Eilerman, by the way, up 19 positions in this race, which is a fantastic start for him. As we head then a bit further up the order then, Tim Bielica coming through turn number 1. Again, now into that pinch point, has that inside line, gets the door completely closed on him. Capillo there, not taking any prisoners, and actually a bit of a mistake a little bit further back there from Gaja. And Aaron Vasquez, who's moved up 10 spots, was P20 in terms of the reverse grid. He will lose out here, though, as we see cars facing the wrong way. Sven Hasser is involved in it. That's not good. Franson's also involved. They're synchronized, reversing. Oh, hopefully the rejoin's good. Oh, God. Oh, Connery Maddock will be watching that.
That was tight.
He'll be sick to death of people rejoining like that. It's a crime, as we're going to see a big send in the background here. A huge send in the background. Oh, that is just about going to work there. Bit of a sniff there on Jean-B's car. Oh, no, sorry, Jean-B made the move there, but it was Manin who nearly got touched on the rear. Actually, is it Manin? Yeah, Manin just up ahead there. And we are starting to see people get a little bit desperate. And if you're someone like Jean-B, you don't really need to be. Vasquez, though, already up to P10. And this is going to be a very comfortable championship lead heading into round number 2 in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, some people will take it more conservative, and Vasquez is making his way. And in this commanding win of race 1, we can expect probably he's fighting for the lead. But for now, let's see how David Tooth is getting around the other car here on the outside.
He's been overtaken.
Yeah, it's been overtaken, but he can fight back. That is really good. And now he needs to get some draft to make it stick against Luis Bielica.
This is incredible stuff there. Look at them side by side there. Bielica's trying to hold the outside line. We're on board with Koch as we now run down in towards the right-hander. And is David Toff going to send one up the inside? Do you know what? Bielica has done an unbelievable job to get that done, because he had to go around the kinks on the outside, did make it stick, and he just got such a good run out of turn number 3. Brilliant stuff there from Bielica. And again, David Toff is one of the OGs of iRacing. He's been a World Championship license holder on multiple disciplines. Like, he is that good, as we see a bit of contact a bit further back as well there. I think that's Grozdanich. Mikulev there giving a slight little high five to Grozdanich. Grozdanich now has that outside line. There is still a slight overlap. By the time they get down towards turn number 1, though, I think Grozdanich should just move across to the right-hand side. We'll get the all clear from his spotter or his crew chief. There we go. Does move across. Mikulev is not going to be able to get that move done, I do not think. And there you go. You just saw the damage of what slipstream can do. Grozdanich there just getting pulled along. But the slipstream isn't huge in this car. As we go right up to the front here, Porter is right behind Farrier. And after race number 1, Porter needs a huge result. And again, it wasn't really his fault. You see behind Barox is about to make a move on Aaron Cook as well. sending it into the hairpin. Cook's going to run wide. Rox is going to say thank you very much. I think Lampert's going to go through as well. And Handgraf, can he steal one from Cook as well? No, Cook will drop down into P5. And yeah, a pretty bad couple of corners there for Cook, who's actually now going to lose out once again. He runs a little bit wide. Handgraf is going to send one up the inside like a hand grenade. And ultimately now it's going to be a fight down towards turn number 1.
Yeah, I mean, for Morosh and Lampert, there is the opportunity to get away from the pack. They're both drivers of CC Sport, so in the Hungarian colors. And I think CC Sport is actually the sim racing team of Norby Kish, who is a very famous truck racing champion. I think 6 times in a row already, and also very fast on iRacing. I think he has 9 or 10K already. And yeah, that shows that the Hungarian culture is very sim racing heavy and successful in sim racing, which is really cool to see.
There's always a Hungarian in sim racing. I'm telling you that now. The heritage of Hungarian sim racing is huge. I've commentated a lot on Race Room as well. And there's a lot of Hungarians on that sim, and now we're seeing them all transition across to iRacing as well. And it's just a huge heritage. As Jean-B then makes his way up to P13, and he's just going about his business nice and methodically, to be honest. He's not really doing what Aaron Vasquez was doing and just sending it at every opportunity. But Jean-B is only 3 positions behind Vasquez, and both of those right now are getting huge race results, which in turn will give them both P1 and P2 in the championship without having to worry about dropping any races as well. So yeah, really good stuff from both of those drivers. As we look a little bit further back here, this is definitely a cleaner race than what we had in race number 1.
Yeah, exactly. We lost some drivers, but generally in the top 30, there's way more consistency from the gaps and already less damaged cars, which is already good. Sorry for the BMW spare parts section. There's nothing to gain so far, but in general, it looks way cleaner and open up the opportunity for more points for the drivers to get. I think the lead switched in a second. Alessandro Porter overtook Faria with a good dive, probably. And now we see whether they do the switchback or not.
I love that. That's the most commentative thing ever. With a dive, probably. Didn't see it, have no idea. Porter is Faria is flashing the lights there. So that says to me that there might have been a bit of an aggressive overtake. I'm sure we'll see it. So we're all good. But 0.3 of a second now, the difference between the front two. Porter needing a huge result because, no fault of his own, ended up facing the wrong way in race number 1 and dropped down the order. Ultimately has been given a better qualifying position for race number 2, and the points are exactly the same for race number 2 as well. So yeah, it's a good position to be in for Porter. Again, he can also drop race number 1 if he is to have a very good rest of his races in this championship. Marox, though, is in behind. Any more fighting between the front two, although Porter is now able to drive away here, isn't he? He's got now 0.4 of a second advantage, so Faria was definitely holding him up. Marox, though, closing in with Lampert just in behind as well.
Sorry, I had to engage in the Discord chat because some drivers got a bit furious about their early stop of the race, and Jano Koch is out. Or is it Embrak?
Yeah, he's facing the wrong way. Not good there. Again, we'll probably see that once again. But that is just not a good start or a good mid part of your race. And yeah, that's definitely going to hurt in terms of points. We go a little bit further up the road here. There's David Toth. Jano Koch just up ahead of them now, being the cork in the bottle. Go through turn number 1, down towards turn number 2. Bleeker has just lost out there and actually dropped back down into the position that they started in, so not the worst race in the world. And actually Faria now starting to catch back up to Porter. So Porter momentarily was driving away, but not quite able to keep doing that. So yeah, Faria doing a pretty good job of responding nicely here. Let's have a look at the replay for the move for the lead. Here we go then. Oh, there's a mistake there. Onto the grass ever so slightly there by Faria. As we come then down towards the hairpin, leaves the door wide open. And while Porter doesn't need 2 invitations there, is there any contact between the two of them? There absolutely isn't. It is clean as a whistle. It's beautiful. And that is what this championship's all about. Take a bow. Delightful bit of work. So we're on board then with our leader, Porter, still leading the way. Marox and Lampert just a bit further back. We'll be hoping for the front two. Cheers for the numbers. Do appreciate that. Porter, you can see now, who is in what class. If they've got a 1 in front of their name, they're a pro driver. And then the 2s are indeed the AMs. So Lampert right now looking down the barrel at getting a pair of race victories today. Sorry, no, it's Matthew Collin, wasn't it, who got the race victory in the previous race there. So Matthew Collin actually isn't anywhere near the front there. But Lampert currently the 23rd seed coming into this. And actually from the top 25 drivers in this was the last one that actually confirmed their position, because Stipo Kagelj and Wojciech Dvorak were put in place of Diogo Moraes and Simon Sigurdsson. So effectively, it's the last seeded driver. We see this battle. What that battle for? P14. Yeah, there's Bilica. It's going to make the move up the inside there. A little bit further up the road, we see Vasquez battling with Gaja. He's now going to drag, I think, Svoboda through in that purple car. Although Gaja has got a really nice run around the outside, but as we come up towards the kink of turn number 1, he's going to get squeezed towards that apex, which should slow him down into the second part. But it's not going to be enough there. Gets the car fully ahead on the brakes will Aaron Vasquez go. And wow, he is pushing forward. A race winner now up to P9 in race number 2. This is a fantastic start to this championship from Aaron Vasquez. A little bit further behind, then you've got David Toff, Bielica, and Jana Koch all fighting for the same bit of real estate. But yeah, the real winner of this situation is Aaron Vasquez. And now, can he potentially go and catch up to the lead Bielica on the grid, the number 207? Again, it doesn't really matter in terms of the points because they're not fighting in the same class. As we see there, Jambi also going to make a move there. Jambi finishing P2 in race number 1 in that pro category. Makes the move there up the inside of Svoboda, makes it stick perfectly and moves up again. We will not gain any points there. Flashing the lights just to let Gaja know that I'm coming, but we'll have to make a move on track there. Well, not a move on track, but we'll have to make the move properly there. We'll not expect any favours because they're fighting for the same class. But as it stands, then the front 3 are pro cars. Then the next 3, 4, 5th and 6th are all AM cars. As David Toth is now defending from, or trying to make a move on Svoboda up the inside. We go a bit further back. There is our Lithuanian. The flags will fly again in the chat. It's Mezkalis, P27.
Yeah, you named the name that's pushing interaction in the chat. So far, I'm very curious for the last couple of laps. We have already 12 minutes done from the race. And it seems, as I said, Vasquez is maybe winning the race. I was wrong with at least 3.7 seconds to Tim Bielica. I think that's not catchable anymore in the last 7.5 laps.
No. Well, I think, yeah, it depends if they fight, doesn't it? I think the fact here that Bielica wants to try and get involved with, there's a car facing the wrong way. That's the other Bielica. So that's the one thing, at least one of those family members are always going to give us some sort of action on track. So he tries to recover there, jumps across the bonnet there of Khan. Khan not having a good day here, and will not be too thankful of being held up with a car that's just come back on track. But ultimately they are racing for some points. As we see Cook here defending from Handgraf then P6. Lampert has actually been able to drive away a little bit here. As Marox now starting to close up on Farrier, to be fair. The gap now only 9/10 of a second. It was 1.2 the last time we did indeed look. Vasquez has gained 1/10 of a second as it stands. But the one thing Vasquez has is he's got a clear track, right? So exactly. Bielica is only 1/10 behind Capillo. Capillo's only 6/10 behind Handgraf. Handgraf's only, 1/10 of a second behind Cook. They are going to fight. That could bring Vasquez back in. Vasquez doesn't need to overtake the car directly in front of him, but he could do with overtaking Capillo to move up to 4th position in this race. As Toth and Gaja are both fighting for position.
Oh, there's like very lane switching. I think the dive from Ryan, he can make it stick. Oh, and switch back. That's awesome racing. That's the racing we want to see, actually.
Yeah, that's absolutely the racing you want to see there. Jana Koch also involved in that. But the only way he gets away with that is because the car runs really deep into that corner, right? Yeah. If he doesn't, then it's a whole lot of calamity. It looks like we just saw a bit of contact there with Grozdanich looking to try and move up into P16. And then you've got Cosford and Mikolev who are battling side by side here, then running down towards turn number 1. And are we going to see any potential moves and indeed shakes there? Through 1 we go. Mikolev looks like he's got to pass Cosford. Yeah, he is. Mikolev also looking to go 1 better and get a move done on Grozdanich. So Grozdanich does go defensive. We're on board here though with Workin, who's working out how he can get past Cosford. Cosford does lose the position, but defends it nicely. Too wide in front. And again, this is only going to hemorrhage them time. The two cars in front of Cosford and Koch going side by side. Grosdenich now loving this in his rearview mirror, thinking I actually got a bit of you know, sort of clear track to run into, but also in behind they're just going to slow each other down, which gives him an opportunity to kind of you know, get himself a gap. But look at this. This is brilliant racing from all concerned.
Yeah, that looks amazing. I mean, all these fights when they stay together and switching positions back and forth, giving them space is really something we are looking for. And it bunched up the whole field, so other drivers have the chance to get some sweet points for the championship, since the points are really only awarded until place 20 in each category. So that should help. And also something to look forward to. Also something to look forward to is whether Victor Eilemann is making the 30 position gains or not. He's currently sitting at 29 positions gained in this race with 3.5 seconds behind Svoboda, but Manning is with 3/10 directly following him. So let's see. But still, nonetheless, a very good result actually for recovery.
I can't imagine there's going to be anybody that gets any more than 29 positions during this whole championship. That is phenomenal. Looks like we've got a replay coming up here of the incident down in towards turn number 6. Oh, Christ.
Oh,
well,
that looks like Leon Hahoff got punted on the braking phase from one of the pro sport racing drivers.
Yeah, I'm not going to say, you know, anything bad against the pro sport racing team, Danny, because I'm, you know, very close to someone who may or may not race for them. But that wasn't very good, was it?
Yeah, that was a bit, yeah.
Optimistic.
And
that is such an insult to injury, though, because we've seen these drivers involved in an incident that was absolutely nothing to do with them has tipped them over the edge of the 17 incident point, which happens so often.
Yeah.
Oh, it's such a shame. Sven Haas is going to, Ryan Mikalev is going to join back in. He's got Diz Derevich in 29th, just ahead of him, and then Sven Hasse a bit further up. Hasse not having a good time at all. Front two separated by 0.3 of a second, by the way. We're on board with that right now. They've actually got Marox, who Marox is sniffing, isn't he? He's like a real happy dog.
I think he's ignited. It was 3 minutes to go. He's nothing to lose. 0.7 to gain.
Well, Vasquez is now well, lost some positions here. So Jean-B and David Toff have been fighting with him significantly enough that he's now dropped 2 spots. So David Toff has moved up into 10th position, has the inside line going in towards turn number 1. And Jean-B, who started 1 position ahead of Vasquez because he finished second in the previous race, slowly but surely made his way up the pack, is now ahead of Vasquez. So that is a very good result from Pinter. Pinter doing a very good job here. It just seems like, again, he's just done it methodically, just done it nice and slowly, not taking as many chances as Vasquez, but has got the same effect, the same result. Fair play.
Exactly, and if you're not taking every chance, the possibilities to get punted or punt somebody is also way smaller. I think that's a cool battle in anyway here, since Aaron and Pinter are very young guns, and David Toth is one of the let's say older guys in the grid and a more experienced one. And actually he has a iRacing customer ID with only 5 digits, which is like very rare, to be honest.
Yes, that is very rare indeed. I'm trying to think what my number is. I think it's 270,000, I think, which is still quite low, to be fair. But yeah, to have 5 digits, I've never seen lower than 5 digits, I don't think, to be honest. So yeah, that is a very, very low number.
iRacing started with 10,000 actually.
Oh,
because
okay.
all numbers down there were for alpha and beta drivers.
Right. Well, there you go. You learn something new every single day. We're on board then with Jean-B, who's battling.
That battle gets intense now. I think.
Two Hungarians are not going to give an inch here. As we run down towards the hairpin, as David Toth going to send one up the inside of Jean-B, decides against it. Ultimately, this is going to cost Vasquez more time than anybody else, as there's a handful of cars a little bit further up the order. Again, the front 3 are all separated by 0.4 of a second individually. So between 1 and 2 is 0.4, and then between 2 and 3 there's 0.4. And there's a 2.8 second gap to Lampert. Then there's a 0.4 of a second back to Cook. Handgraf is 0.2 of a second behind, as we're potentially seeing Zombie try and find a bit of a gap there, but almost put into a wall. I think David Toff thought he was clear. He absolutely wasn't. He's read it perfectly here. They are side by side. The wing mirrors touching. Aaron Vasquez is going to try and take a position here if he absolutely can. Down towards turn number 2 into a very tough pinch point. And there's no way Toff can keep this going around the outside, is there? Jean-B is just going to sort of usher him off the circuit. Vasquez is now going to take the outside line as we come through turn number 4, and he might get David Toff as well. And Jean-B and Vasquez, who've been the stars of the field today, are still the stars of the field. They might finish in the reverse order of what they did in race number 1, but those two have been very, very quick today.
Yeah, and still, I mean, for them, it's fighting for just position 9, 10, and 11, but they fight really down to the bone and very respectfully. So, and in the front still, that's for the
win here. Unbelievable stuff. Then Porter makes a little bit of an error there. He's left the door open for Farrier. Farrier's got the run with the side draft. That's not quite going to work out, and it caught us completely off guard there. I thought there might be one more lap, but Porter does take the race victory. Farrier right behind him. Marox, though, wasn't able to take advantage, but the front 3 are all pro category drivers. Then we've got Cook, who finishes in 4th position, but ultimately P1 in the AM class. Capillo and Bielica finish in 5th and 6th. In terms of the AM class, Bielica will finish in 2nd, and then we will have Lampert in 7th spot. Looks like we've got a replay popping up here as well of a car a little bit further down the order. So are we about to see a mistake here or an overtake? Oh, it's a big slide.
That's the heavy impact.
Oh, yeah, that's big. Oh, avoids everyone coming back on. Again, there'll be some sim racers out there on Reddit who'll be like, hold your brakes. Not a lot you can do there, holding your brakes. He just hit the wall so hard. And yeah, so significantly did he hit that wall. The engine blew up instantly. That is a tough one. That's a tough one to hold at the start of a race. But with 20-minute-old tyres around this circuit, yeah, that's almost impossible to hold there. Big mistake there. But in terms of our 2 race winners, Porter with the race win, and indeed Cook as well with a race win. Oh, Danny, that was a little bit cleaner there, but still a few mistakes, but we're starting to get a picture of who our title favourites are.
I guess we showed Pinter and Vasquez all the time. So Zombie and Vasquez, they are really like up on the edge. They know when they need to deliver and when it's okay to finish P9, P10, or P11. I think also a lot of AM drivers actually have the potential to end up in a good position overall, which is actually, yeah, they don't need to care about that. They just need to care about the category. But it takes from me away all the discussions we have in front with some of the drivers that the AM may be not ending up in good positions. And here is our feature result. Do you want to roll the names? Because it sounds so amazing from your lips.
That might be the weirdest thing you've ever said to me, Danny. And you said some weird stuff to me. My God. Alessandro Porta with the race win then from Italy. He managed to get the overtake done on Farrier. Very similar to race number 1, actually, where we saw Jean-B get overtaken by Aaron Vasquez for the win. Farrier fought back, but wasn't able to indeed overturn that deficit. But ultimately, finished in 2nd position. So a good result there for Farrier. Marox then in 3rd spot. Looked like at sort of 16-minute mark with 4 minutes to go was charging. May have saved the tyres, but yeah, ultimately it came to nothing but a podium order. Same. Then our winner for the AM class, Aaron Cook, who's got an army of fans over on YouTube, finishes in 4th position. Then we've got Giacchino Capillo finishing in 4th spot, 4th in the Pro Class, 5th overall. And then we've got Tim Bielica finishes 2nd on the podium for the AMs. Matt Lampert finishes in 3rd and 7th overall. Pinter Jean-B with a very good result, finishing ahead of Vasquez. It's the opposite roles reversed from the first race, ultimately a little bit further down the grid. David Toff and Gaja were fighting the whole race long. David Toff does get that top 10. Gaja finishing in 11th. Then we've got Miroslav Shvoboda, Stein Handgraf, Eilerman, who managed to gain 29 positions in that race. 29 positions. That is absolutely outstanding. I'm not sure we're going to see that happen again this season. Leon Manin finishes in 15th. Adnan Grozdanic, who's got a fair few people supporting him at home as well, in 16th. Jano Koch in 17th. Lewis Bielica in 18th. Leon Harhoff in 19th. Cody Cosford in 20th. Then got John Ellen in 21st. Florian Horvath, Karolis Mezkalis, Gasper Morak, Sven Olahasa, Matthew Collin, Amar Dizdorovic. We've then got Ryan Mikulev, actually top 28. They're going a little bit further down the standings now. We've got ourselves Rafael Dorica, Zain Khan, Parla, Oromets. We've then got Kremers, Zeljubak, Dvorak, Branson, Workin, Kruken. Those last three are all a lap down or more. Then we've got drivers that didn't finish there. Hofstadter, Cavero, Measuros. We've then got Zivi Jabo, Catoldo, Dalla, and then we've got Caruana as your 45th driver. And I can tell you a few of those drivers, from what I've just seen in Discord, are very displeased with how their racing has gone. But Danny, in all fairness, that has been a fun experience for race number 1, or races 1 and 2 for round number 1. We're going to get to do this again in a couple of weeks' time. What have we learnt from this? What have we learnt from this?
What we learned from this, besides that you can pronounce these names so wonderful, to get back to that awkward message, I think we learned that iRating is not a guarantee for a good finish. We learned that the AM drivers actually are stacking quite well. We learned that you can climb a lot of positions in race 2 if you behave. And do I have a fourth learning? I have the fourth. The fourth learning is I'm looking forward for the second race of the series.
No, it should absolutely be fun. That is for certain. Right, let's bring in then our race winner from race number 1 for the pro class. We have got Aaron Vasquez. So we're going to get him dragged in very... Well, here he is. So Aaron Vasquez, a great race victory in race number 1, a perfect move to get it done as well during that first race. And then a very good finish in the second race where, you can't be expected to win every time, especially with a 20 position change for race number 2. But how are you feeling after your first 2 races?
I mean, the first race, it was like really good race, to be honest. We have a lot of battles with Pinter, really hard. Was in the limit, actually, both moves. But I think everything was fine the first race. So for the first race, I was really happy with the pace, with everything. And then in the second race, basically, I was expecting already chaotic race, like really chaotic race, because like top 20 reverses a lot drivers in front that maybe don't have your pace at all, so you expect that they're gonna be a bit more slower than you, so it will be a lot of moves, maybe some crashes. So I was expecting already this race, but it was more chaotic than I was expecting. So for me, it was a really good performance, to be honest, in the second one, because I could finish P9. That actually is a really good result, because reverse 20 you expect to crash in the first corner or something with a track that the Tour 1 is really like really bad for a lot of cars, So I'm really happy actually, but I'm a bit mad because one person was fighting me a lot, so I couldn't overtake him at all, so I lost a lot of time and I couldn't go away from him. So actually I could finish more ahead, but I'm really happy with the result. So on to for the next one and let's see what happens.
Go on, Danny. I'll let you go with one.
Yeah, how do you actually prepare? I mean, Aaron, you're the best driver in terms of iRating on the service, and many drivers are watching that will look up to people like you. So how do you prepare for such a kind of event?
I mean, in this type of events, like you have only like 1 day of preparation and you don't know the track before or the combination, basically. My preparation is just wait every minute for the track when it's announced. So I wait for it. And then when I see the track, I talk with my teammates basically, and we start to prepare the track, and we start to see the telemetry points like we can improve about quality, everything. And we try hard a little bit the first day, and the second day we just take a bit more chill, just to don't get the pressure and just don't drive too much in the second day and the actual race day. So we just try to put all the effort the first day, like the previous day of the actual race basically, and then we just chill, just do some laps to warm up, and then we go to the race basically.
Well, congratulations, mate. I will leave you this one thing. I've been in one race with you on iRacing many years ago, and you took me out in a truck race. So I'll never forget that, Aaron. All right? I'll never
okay, look,
that.
Okay.
Good luck in a couple of weeks,
I can say sorry now. So I hope you can take the apologizers, and we hope we're going to be good,
Maybe you can apologize in person at the SimRacing Expo to Luke.
Yeah, let's see. I will go for the Sing Expo 100%, whatever if I qualify or not, because all my team wanna go, so I want to go. So we will see if we can meet them. Yeah.
Would be
I've
awesome to
mentioned
meet
it
you
in
at
every-
Expo.
I've mentioned
Yeah,
it in
same.
every commentary I've ever done on you, Aaron, and I will continue to mention it. You took me out in a truck race. See you in 2
Okay.
weeks, mate. See you, mate.
Okay, see
Oh,
you guys.
God.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.
That's a true story, though, Danny. You did take me out in a truck race. Right, we're going to bring in the winner of Pro Race 2, which is Alessandro Porta. Alessandro, race 1 could have been a huge result, but you made up for it in race number 2. So first of all, congratulations, and you must be feeling kind of happy, you know, but it could have been a bit better.
Yeah, like in a race like this, with this disadvantage, is very excited. I'm super happy. You hear me?
Yeah, go on, Danny. Your turn.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was not fully getting it. Yeah. So, how does it feel? I mean, you've been in the AM section. Did you felt like this is a disadvantage for you going up against the big guns on iRacing, or where you're like?
Yeah, I think racing is I think is the most important sim racing world in the racing. Is very beautiful. I think is one of the most beautiful simulator in online. Yeah, this is very good. I think
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Just go ahead.
Yeah, in a race like this, with these people with this rating is very beautiful to see win like this. I'm super excited.
Awesome.
Yeah, of course. I need to make it right. Alex won the pro category in the second race, and it was amazing fight actually at the front.
Yeah. With Diogo is a very fair player. I enjoyed every single moment in this race because I studied for 5 or 6 laps behind him, and after that I try to make the overtake, and I try to push to win. So I did it, and I'm super happy.
Wonderful stuff, mate. Well, congratulations. We'll see you in a couple of weeks' time, buddy. And yeah, I wish you the best of luck in your preparations. Although you can't prepare because you don't know the track yet. So
yeah.
Enjoy.
We don't know, so it's very good this because we have no time to prepare the race. So you have maximum 1 day to prepare it. So this is like sim racing. You need to do this like sim racing. This is frame racing. It's very beautiful like this because you have no time to try, and it's very good.
And also, everyone has the same setup, right? So no engineering
Setup
advantage.
fixed, yes. Only the driver make the difference. Before in the hit one, I make this crash with Sven. I try to stay him behind me, and we did a big crash. I don't know how I feel when he crashed to me, but now I'll see the replay. So maybe I got to make a protest. So I need to see every single view by the replay. So maybe in the next 30 minutes I'll check it.
Exactly.
That's it. You report everyone. Go on, give us a look.
I need to see because I think I was in the inside to defend, and I also make the move, but I don't know if there was some space inside because I think I was totally too covered inside, but he made the nose on my right, and I lost the rear, and next I crashed with the people in front.
Okay, Alessandro, then we don't want to let you longer wait to check the replays. Otherwise, also your time is running out. Thank you for the amazing performance in the second race, and we are looking forward to see you in the next round.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very
See you
much.
later, mate. Michael Wamser, by the way, the official safety car driver, pace car driver, is in the chat as well. So shout out to Misha. Did a very good job.
Now you're collecting like bonus points, right?
Wow, he did a very good job of driving a safety car.
Yeah,
Well, it was
exactly.
fantastic.
And we just needed 2 times.
Ironically, the fastest laps he's also ever done. Crazy.
Ooh,
Yeah, wonderful
great.
stuff. That's us done and dusted, Danny. Any final thoughts?
I will probably make a better decision for the next track, so people have more to enjoy than turn 1 maybe, and we don't see the biggest moving parking lot in the world. But that alone is a Guinness record we have right now, and it was amazing to work with the team from AK Esports UK, with you of course, Luke. I'm looking forward to see you tomorrow again. And thank you to Azetec for sponsoring this championship, and Traction for doing all the beautiful media stuff. So that's my last words, and you can close the show.
Excellent stuff. Yeah, thank you to all the drivers as well for getting involved. I'm sure most people had a bit of fun. Motor racing, things happen. You get involved in incidents. That is the lay of the land. It's the only esport where you can have a direct effect on someone else's performance by bending the rules. It is as simple as that. Right, we're back in a couple of weeks. If any of you are at Gamescom, when Gamescom is happening in 2 weeks' time, make sure you come and drop by, because we're all going to be there as well, and come and talk all things Sim Racing Expo. But yeah, round 1 in the books, the Sim Racing Expo, or Road to Sim Racing Expo. We'll see you in a couple of weeks for round 2.
Bye.